Hi everyone, welcome to my March vlog, and for this one I have a special challenge for us where I'm going to be letting my best friend slash my cousin pick my reads for while I am in the Netherlands. So this video will probably span from the time that I'm in the Netherlands to the end of March when I get back. I have about 4 books that I'm gonna read, but I've picked out a total of 8 and I'm letting Gentry decide. I picked these purely off like mood of like what I think I'd like to read there, so I didn't use my jar for this one, but I did pick books that have been on my bookshelf for a long time. So for this challenge, I had her pick a color that was based on the color of the cover page of the book. So for the first one here that I have picked out, I have Wrecked by Lauren Asher, which is book 3 in her Dirty Air series, which I am known for loving Lauren Asher books. And then I have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, which is one of her like big 3 books that she's written, and it's the only one I haven't read. So I read the 7-Year Slip. Actually, she's got like probably 4 big ones. I've read the 7-Year Slip and I've read A Novel Love Story. Out of those 2, I loved A Novel Love Story the most, which was kind of like my unpopular opinion there. I know a lot of people liked The 7-Year Slip more. But then she has Sounds Like Love and The Dead Romantics, which I have not read. So here are these 2. And then next up in the competition, I have Never Thought I'd End Up by Here by Anne Leong, another favorite of my authors. And a new author that I have not read from is Our Infinite Fates. This one was like trending on Book Talk for a long time, and I bought it back then and I just haven't read it since. But I think that's going to be a very interesting read for me. Then I have Circe by Madeline Miller, which is like the 2nd book in a standalone interconnected series. I read A Song of Achilles earlier. Actually, technically it was last year, late last year. And so now it's time to read Circe. And then I have Tangled Up in You by Christine Lauren, which is part of like the Disney series, which I'm really surprised that I have not read from yet. So this is like technically book number 5 in a standalone interconnected series. But this one's based off of Tangled, which is like my favorite. If you didn't know, now you know. So those 2 are competing against each other. And then for my last stack, I'm actually going to save for last to show you because it has to do with stack number 1. So for the first one, I asked her, of course, pink or green, which I should have realized my mistake. Gentry loves the color green, so she chose green, which means we're going to be reading Wrecked by Lauren Asher. I'm so sad. I'm not going to be reading Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston, but if I'm being honest, I was kind of rooting for this one to win just because I would really like to complete reading this series. Okay, then for the next one, I asked her to pick. I had to get smart here actually because the cover of Never Thought I'd End Up Here is also inherently green. And then there's Our Infinite Fates, which is also kind of like teal, but it's got gold around it, but there's no like gold heart button. So I went for like a light yellow. It's supposed to be gold. And then I went for light blue, which is kind of like the color of the water on the back. So this one was kind of a stretch, but I was like yellow or light blue. And she ended up choosing yellow, which is Our Infinite Fates. So that is book number 2 for this month of March, which honestly, if I'm being honest, for this one, I may have been rooting for Never Thought I'd End Up Like You just because like it is an author that I know that I like. So this will be me like kind of jumping out a bit. But I am excited to get to this one because so many people rated it so well. Like I never saw really any negative reviews. Anyway, on to stack number 3 though. Okay, next on the stack, I asked her, again, had to get creative, either brown or purple. Brown was supposed to be this one. Like it's just what came to mind. And again, there's no gold. So I was like brown for Circe. And then I did purple for Tangled Up in You because that is the color of the text. I again maybe would have gone with green for like the whole cover, or it's technically teal, but I can't give her green because she will just pick green. So out of these 2, she ended up picking purple, so Tangled Up in You. These both have been on my shelf like the longest out of majority of the books back here. So I was like, I really need to read both of these, but Circe has probably been on here for longer, but she's gonna have to wait. She's gonna have to wait at least another month now. I'm so sorry. But I am excited to read this one. I want to read the whole Disney series. Like, I am very excited to get into this one. There's so many books on my, like, TBR that I don't even own yet that I'm, like, dying to read. And then our last stack, which I didn't show you because it contains a book that would have spoiled our first one because Our first one we know because it was green. Ginger picked Wrecked. So then I added the fourth book to our stack, with it being purple for Redeemed. And then for Not in Love, I did like a dark blue, like their hair kind of in his shirt that kind of matched. So I was like, dark blue or purple. And then she ended up picking purple. So I am completing the Lauren Asher series. I was trying not to give that away, but I think I did a really bad job. I think you guys realized that I was finishing this one. I couldn't contain myself. So yeah, this is our March stack. Honestly, I feel like I could add another one. Like 4 isn't that many. Should I add another one? Okay, pause. Because I feel like I could do 5 this month. Like, I feel like I could do 5. I'm going to add it to the TBR, and then I'm just like not going to read it by the end of the month. Okay, but I already know what book I'm going to add. The Final Offer. And then maybe When in Rome. But this is also green. And there's like no other color. Actually, there's white. I'm going to give her white. White, and then I feel like I could add one of these books back. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to add Not in Love back because I think this will be a really good romance read. Like, I kind of predict it being a 5-star. I really loved The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And then I also read Problematic Summer Romance last summer. So I kind of read them out of order because book 2 takes place at like their wedding. So I feel like it's about time I got to their love story. So I think I'm going to ask her to pick between these two. Hopefully she responds to me. This one I'm going back to pink. She like never picked pink, and that's my favorite color. Kind of offended. Okay, so Gingy just responded with the color. She chose white, which means we're going to be reading The Final Offer. A last-minute contender has made it into the ring, which means in the month of March, I'm reading 3 separate Lauren Asher books. Like, that's just not hitting me. I'm going to get my fill of Lauren Asher this month, which is great because she also has, like, the Lakefront Billionaire series, and I would like to get to that one next after I finish these 2. So that's great. I'm knocking off 2 series this month. And then I'm starting another interconnected one. And I actually don't know if our Infinite Fates is a series or not. Like, I feel like I've maybe heard both. But yeah, honestly, I was really excited because this was like a mood repick off my shelves. I was excited to read like literally any of these. So a part of me is sad I won't be reading the rest of these this month, but I'm also very excited by my current TBR. Like, either way, it was going to be a really good TBR either way because I just already knew what I wanted to read. I just finished Assistant to the Villain series, so I was kind of like, no more fantasy. I want like there was so much like yearning and tension, and it was such a slow burn. Like, that book is defined as a slow burn. So I wanted to read something where like the people got together in that series and in the book, and they had their happy ending or like some kind of ending in that book. So something a little bit less slow burn, which I hope would be the case in all of these. But yeah, I will get back to you guys whenever I start. I honestly don't know how this video is going to go because I'm not really planning on filming while I'm in the Netherlands. Like, I'm probably going to film when I get back, and it's probably going to be like a rapid review. I will just get back to you guys with whatever. I don't have any idea how this video is going to go. I just knew that I was going to be reading while traveling, as I always do, and I wanted to document that for my few viewers. Alright, I'll see you guys whenever I next see you. Okay, hi everyone. It's been a while since I talked to the camera. The last time I talked, I picked out all my books with the help of my cousin and told you guys that I was going to read most of those on my trip abroad. I am now back from that trip. I got back about 2 days ago. And out of the 5 books that I chose for this month, I ended up reading 3 of them, which honestly, I'm not going to complain about. Like, I wish I read a bit more, but I'm not surprised that I only got through 3. But I'm really happy with the 3 that I did read. So, unsurprising to just about everyone, the 3 books I picked were first Wrecked, then by Lauren Asher, then I read The Final Offer by Lauren Asher, and then I read Redeemed by Lauren Asher. So I finished 2 different series by Lauren Asher, and there's only one more left that she's written, and I have to read that one soon. But I made progress. I completed 2 series this month, Very happy about it, and they were all really good books. Like, I think I gave all of them 5 stars, which is also still unsurprising to me. Who's surprised? So the first one I read was Wrecked. My thoughts on this one, I'm like trying to remember it all because I read it like a bit more than a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago at this point. It was really good. Like, unsurprisingly, I think I rated it a 5 star. I just love the chemistry. I love reading about Jax and Elena, learning about all these different characters, their different problems in life. And like Lauren Asher has a really good way of just like showing all these people's different problems and traumas and them really working through it and fighting their demons. Like a big theme in Lauren Asher's books are fighting their demons. For this, Jax had like he struggled with addiction, and then Elena had the problems with her family. But I'm trying to keep this like short and sweet right now. But I thought this one was really good. And then the next one I read was The Final Offer. Also, this one was also like an addiction one, but it was more alcohol, whereas Jax and Wrecked had like drug usage. But this one really showed alcohol addiction, and I think Lauren Asher did a really great job of portraying what that most likely looks like. I have no idea myself, but the way that it's a struggle of going like back and forth and, you know, relapsing, problems like that, and how important it is to have someone like who's in your corner, who's there to fight for you. It was so good. And then the little child, Cammy, she was so cute. She was so sweet. I loved her. It was another 5-star read. I loved every single one of these characters. And then for the final book that I just finished like 10 minutes ago is Redeemed. Probably my favorite read of this whole vlog. 6 stars. I loved it almost as much as I loved Throttled. This one deals with another type of problem where our main character, Santiago, has a lot of like self-doubt because of an incident that he goes through that kind of affects the rest of his life, and he doesn't think he's ever gonna like race again. And I remember like starting this book on the plane, and the prologue, it was just like bam, right out the start, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't see that coming at all. I had no idea. Plot twist at the beginning. So anyway, I feel like I loved Chloe, our main character, like their chemistry, so good. And it was like almost like right off the bat, they liked each other. And then it was just building off of that the whole time. And I love that. Like they had their problems in their relationships, but there was no like big third act breakup or anything like that. Like they had their problems, but they worked through it really well. I love a good healthy relationship that doesn't deal with like miscommunication and stuff like that, which is another reason that I love Lauren Asher in general. Like she doesn't really do that in her books. But yeah, this one was great, and I've never read a book with a character who goes through this type of problem and has to work through it. So it was very interesting. Like I've literally never read a book. I try not to spoil anything about it, but I highly recommend it. So yeah, like 6 stars. I loved it almost as much as I loved Throttle. Throttle's really hard to beat though, which is the first book in this series. It's just like iconic forever in my heart. But this is one that I literally couldn't put down. I read The Final Offer on like my 11-hour flight, so I read it in basically like one sitting. But for that one, I was kind of like, it's really good, but it's not like, you know, can't put it down. I just read it in one go because I had nothing else to do on the plane. But this one, it was like I had to go to class today and I had to do all these things. I was like, damn, like I can't wait to get home and read my book. Like I was burning for it. I was burning. I was like yearning to read this book. I loved it, and I loved how they dealt with everything. This book was just green flag all around. So yeah, if I had to give like a final rating on these series and which one are my favorite, I have the stack here. I think I would do Throttled first, then Redeemed, which I honestly was really surprised. Like I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but I really liked it. Then Wrecked, and then Collided, which I don't know if I talked about Collided too much on this channel, but it was still really good, just not my favorite. It was the one 4-star out of this whole series. The rest of them were all 5-star reads for me. And then for the Dreamland Billionaire series, which is 3 books, my favorite was definitely The Fine Print, for sure, like 100%, that takes first place. Then probably Final Offer, because it was really good. and then Terms and Conditions, because that one again was like my one 4-star, maybe 3-star, because I just didn't really like the male lead in that one. Like, he was really mean through and through, you know, and we see him like work on it and I'm like, that's really good, but he was just so mean like the whole book. I wasn't really vibing with him. But I will say, both of these two, Redeemed and Final Offer, just because they dealt with like such serious topics, they like both really almost made me cry. Like, my eyes were watering. It was bad. I never actually cried, but I got close in both of those. Like, they were both just like, oh, my heart. But yeah, that is it for this blog. The books that I did not read were Tangled Up in You and then Our Infinite Fates, which I'm really sad I didn't get to those, but hopefully next time. I'm going to try and get this video out pretty soon. I've got like a lot to do right now with like school, coming back from spring break, but hopefully it doesn't take me too long. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one for April. Bye!